day to you. It's Ken Braverman with an Excel sprap to try to save you time. Maybe I'm speaking to you. Are you in Missouri? Do you have a business in St. Louis? Hey, if you said yes to any of these questions and you run a small business in St. Louis County or Missouri in general, this might be helpful to you. This is a payroll and Excel spreadsheet application. It's going to save you time. What it does is payroll basically records all the numbers for you, generates a pay stub, shows you where all your taxes should be, keeps track of your daily hours, does everything at the touch of your fingertips. I have templates that I can sell you, and also I do custom additions and changes to them if you live in a state other than Missouri, or have any different thing other than a bi-weekly. This is a version that pays every 2 weeks. There's also a version that pays weekly, and a version that pays semi-monthly, depending on your payroll schedule. Now, let's show what Missouri income tax rates are like, because believe it or not, Missouri income tax rates and the way you figure it out is a pain in the rear end. For a state that's in the middle of the country, they have rear end potential when it comes to their tax rate. It took me several hours to code Missouri and St. Louis County tax rates into this file. So I'm not sure if Lou Brock is from St. Louis, but everybody else here is. That Kingsley? Kingsley's a YouTube guy. I don't know. I went down an alphabetical list on Wikipedia for people, and someone caught my, I was like, oh, Jackie Joyner Kersey. I remember Olympic gold medals out of her, I believe. Bob Costas was probably announcing those Olympics. He's been around for so long. Harry Carey was announcing Cubs games, did not live to see the Cubs win a World Series. August Busch, I believe, is a dude with some money. Fred and Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was rerun from What's Happening. He lived till 2003. You learn things every day. Chuck Berry just died, I believe, like this last month. Scott Bakula is from Quantum Leap. Maya Angelou was famous. So's Nelly. Nelly could have been a baseball player, but decided to be a rapper instead, and I don't know who Kingsley is. And Lou Brock was a baseball player. So I just made up some people, and I gave them hourly rates and daily hours. So this is your daily entry sheet. It's very simple. Like today's the 11th. Let's see, who would most likely be working today? Harry Carey probably would be working today. You could just choose Harry Carey from the drop-down menu. He would be announcing a Cubs game, and it's going to take him, let's say, 6 hours. How much would you pay Harry Carey to announce a Cubs game for 6 hours? So you have options in this weekly all data sheet where a lot of the action happens and the formulas are set. So you can say, I look for Harry Carey, and I care about this current pay period, but we can also see based on previous hours and things I have in this file what happened. So week ending 4/14 most likely. We were paying him $79 an hour, and now he has a 22-hour week, I believe. So what does that mean? Well, you go to a pay stub, and you choose a person. How did we get here? Here's Harry Carey's paycheck. $1,400 for this period. He's getting $79 an hour, and he worked 22 hours. Your federal tax, your state of Missouri tax, and your St. Louis County tax. Your Social Security, your FICA, your Medicare leaves you with the check amount in this situation. There are other things that can go into your pay, and this file, all right, get ready to be sick to your stomach. This file has, 100 columns or more, I don't know. It keeps growing and shrinking depending on the file, of all different types of potential things that could happen to a payroll scenario for your certain type of business. That's what makes Excel special and fun, is that you can have an algebraic idea of how to write a formula for something. In this case, I'm going to show you Missouri income tax withholding. You can have an idea and you can formulate it into your file, and then as soon as you type in, somebody else had hours today. Let's actually look at what happens to the pay stubs. Let's go to August Bush. No, nobody's getting that kind of money. I made August Bush's salary unbelievable. Scott Bakula, because who doesn't love quantum leap? And Scott Bakula's, you always feel like Scott Bakula's the common man. When I heard that he was from St. Louis, I thought, wow, what a great poster boy for Missouri. So Scott Bakula is working hard. He's working for $42 an hour, and he's an actor, so he only worked 8 hours this week. Let's change that, and let's give him a full week at $42 an hour. So how would I do that? Well, it's a couple different ways. You can edit it in the regular hour sheet. We can go look up Scott Bakula instead of Harry Carey. Or a lot of times what people do when they use this is they look at the current week ending. The current payroll period's ending on April 14th. We've got tax time coming up, right? So this current payroll period ends on like a Friday, I think. And you can see what everybody's statuses are. And what I often do is then hide things that I don't need, that I don't use. These are hours I don't use. And so then you can change this interface to just look at information about your company. Like this is where you're going to type in the hourly rate each day, or if the hourly rate changes on someone, you're going to change it here. Well, with Scott Bakula, he gets $42 an hour. We don't do any of these other healthcare benefits things, but you can program all that stuff in if you have a health plan and it's pre-tax, non-tax, or whatever. There's all kinds of different rules for things, but as soon as you get them, you can just program them right here into the file. And what I want to show you is the Missouri part, because Missouri is complicated. And if you have to do it yourself, you have to go to calculator on the Missouri. Here we go. You have to go to this calculator where you have to choose a bunch of different parameters for your pay. There's like 4 of them, because in Missouri income tax, what happens is you have to figure out, this is basically the theory behind payroll and withholding, in the spirit of what is withholding. Like, only 17 cents gets withheld from Scott Bakula's check if he only worked 8 hours, $42 an hour. The reason for that is Missouri taxes you based on these things. They want you to annualize what they think your entire year income is going to be based on this one paycheck. So they think Scott Bakula is not going to make a lot of money this year because he's only grossing $336 every 2 weeks. So he's making like $168 or something gross every week. That's not going to fly, right? That's an average of 4 hours a week. So he's not going to make a lot of money. So he's not going to have to pay a lot of Missouri state tax, because when you annualize out his deductions and his status, he wouldn't have any taxable money left. And if you do have taxable money left over, called Missouri taxable wages, it has all these different layers, really small amounts of money. This is the bi-weekly schedule. So if you pay by, if you pay every week, or if you pay semi-monthly, there's different numbers that go into this thing, and then we change the formula in the file. But like the first 39 bucks gets charged 1.5%. So you only pay 59 cents on that part. And then the next $77 to 39, the next $37.99 gets taxed at 2%. Then this weird goes up by 0.5% for really small amounts of money. And this is the running total amount of tax due that you owe based on different ranges of what your taxable income is. But everything over 349 bucks is taxed at 6%. So that's really the effective rate on most income, you would think, for most people. The rest of this is a very small range of money. So anyway, this table can be adjusted and changed for whatever your payroll period is. But what it does is it looks at, I have these different formulas I set up to do the calculation. This is how complicated it is. Missouri, most states, some states don't even have state tax, which is awesome. But states that do have state tax, I usually only have to spend like 2 or 3 columns on doing the formula. I have to do like 5 or 6 even for this. And I'll show you why. All right, we'll get this done. So what's going on? Let's start at the beginning, I guess. Let's look for, I'll show you what we're going to do with Scott Bakula, right? So we're going to give Scott Bakula another 32 hours for some reason. So for this week, because this essentially puts 32 hours into that week. You can see it change here. Scott Bakula, we're going to just show Scott. He now has 40 hours for the week, and all of a sudden, a lot of his wages and stuff are going to change. His new pay stub, for example, shows that he has $64 in Missouri state tax taken out now. And he's grossing $1,680. So what does that change? This is a more higher paid employee. You can see how the numbers really pan out. So he has Missouri deductions. Wow, that's the federal amount. So you end up with an annualized taxable. We'll have to look at these just one by one as they make sense in order. So the theory behind how the tax structure works and why it works, or the point of it, is to take your annualized income, say what does Scott make in a year? If he grosses $1,680 in every biweekly paycheck, he's going to be making 26 times that over the year, because there's 26 biweekly, 52-week year, 26 biweekly paychecks. So his annual income is $43,680. This 1212 ends up being how many dollars are taxable by Missouri. You get there by taking the annualized income and subtracting out your allowances and your deductions for Missouri that are allowed by Missouri. And then you divide that number by 26 to get the amount per pay period that's taxable, which is this. So this 1212 times 26 equals 3152. 3152 is the annualized income here minus the deductions and allowances. Okay? See where I'm at? So this is your per pay period taxable. How did you get this number? This one we got, and this one we understand. It's gross wages times 26. What's this? This is VLOOKUP all data. The formula I have doing this, I believe, is talking to this grid here. And it's figuring out based on the person's allowances and such. As VLOOKUP A115 says, look up the employee from the employee data sheet and pick out R1. It's actually giving you this number right here. And so what this number is using the answers to these questions to talk to this matrix and this matrix, I believe, to figure out how much you're allowed to pull out as a deduction allowance amount from their account. The way you do that is, this one's a little complicated in here, but not too bad. Let's look up. This is false. This is false. What I did here is you're looking for what filing status the person put, because they have different deductions based on what their status is and how many deductions they chose. Okay, so they're choosing two things here: their Missouri state exemption number on their Missouri W-4 and their filing status. If their filing status is single, they get to knock off $6,350 just being a standard person from their taxable income. So this number here is at least $6,350 if you're single and even have no deductions, just because that's your standard. Then however many allowances you have on your Missouri W-4, you multiply by 2,100 for the first one, and then you get 1,200 for each additional one. Okay? Annoying, right? Same idea for married and your spouse works, they give you the same numbers. If your spouse does not work, they essentially give you a higher standard deduction. And the first allowance is 2,100, and then the second allowance is also 2,100, which I don't have on here, but I have it coded in my formula. So that's why that's in yellow, is there's actually a second allowance of 1,200, and then all the additional ones are 1,200 after that. Yeah, and then this is why this is such an annoying state. I can't believe they did this and broke from the federal call, just married or not, like make it easy. for the amount of money that this is changing, it's really frustrating. So head of household, these are the numbers. So the formula you just saw in here, how do I make it easier for you to see? I guess I can paste this. This MO allowance is the name of the range, and this is a VLOOKUP number for column 2. So it's basically saying, you know, look up something here and give me this number, look up something here and give me this number, look up something here and give me this number, based on how many allowances I have. So it's a frustrating and annoying formula. You really need to see it, and I'll paste the actual formula. I won't give you the file away for free. I sell the file as a product, but I can give you that formula with that grid so you don't have to retype it, but you can look at my logic, because I don't want to walk it through you now, it's too boring. But that's what it's doing, and so it gives you this deduction amount. And then I bring that deduction amount here, and then all of a sudden all you have to do is do this formula, which is also complicated, which is the final Missouri tax formula. This thing, I know this is just for such small amounts of money. Every one of these additional nested ifs in this formula has to do with one of those changes in percentages that is charged against in this thing here. Like every one of those ifs has to be like, if the dollar amount is less than this, do this. If it's less than 77, then you have to add 59 cents to the amount of 2% less 59 between 77 and 39. It's so annoying. Okay, it's a horrible, horrible formula. I will definitely paste this for you to look at. And now, what does it mean though? It's looking at the cell of like, what's the Missouri taxable wages? In this case, what's 1212, right? And it's, what do you do to that 1212? Well, if that 1212 was anywhere here, if it was less than 39, then you're going to multiply 1.5% times the amount. If it was less than but if it's not less than 39, you go to the next one. If it's less than 77, you want to do what? If it's less than 77, which is what max 2 was called there. Max 2, this is a named range. I named that cell max 2. How do I know it's 77? Click on it. Up here in the range bar, way up here in the top left of the range bar, it gives you what the name of the cell is. If you named it, you can do that by right-clicking. Define name, and I would type underscore max 2. That's how I made that happen. Actually did it a quicker way, which I'll tell you later. But so all that stuff in there, that's what these names are. These max, the cumulative amount of tax that needs to be withheld. Come 1. Come 1, come 2. I feel it coming. Yes, you feel that withholding amount coming. And that's what this total is this running total of what's supposed to be withheld at each one of these levels of threshold of amount of taxable amount. And most of it's going to be above 349. I feel like either you're not going to be on this list at all, or you're going to be over 349 most of the time. Because what? Because this is every bi-week. This time 26. This is $9,000 range of tax. They screw with the first $10,000 of taxable income. So if you're anywhere between 0 and 10,000 in taxable income for Missouri, this is all annoyance over $12. per pay period of tax withheld, which for this amount of formula writing, I think is absolutely insane. But that's where we are. And this number, I've been testing it against the Missouri income tax calculator website. It works. So what you end up with is awesome pivot tables that you can then totally change your life and understand how your business works and say, well, what kind of, I'm going to need to pay, I paid 1.7 million in payroll this year. How much did I pay so far in Q1? I paid 375,000. You can start doing things like adding slicers for everything you want to. You can do it for week ending. You can do it. A slicer gives you a visual bubble filter that makes life easier. So, for example, like the current payroll period right now is week ending, 14th of April? You can always change these pivot tables around to generate any report that you want. For example, I'm going to do this by week ending, and then by, I don't know, this paycheck comes out on the 20th. We could show subtotals or not. You really have total, complete control over anything you want to show. Like I'm set to pay $106,000 to my employees this week in my fictional business. I mean, thank God Chuck Berry is dead, and a lot of these people are dead on here. My Angela's dead. Scott Backless is still kicking, and Bob Costas, and YouTube Kingsley. Apparently, YouTube Kingsley does not have any wages this period. Bummer. Maybe he's upset with all the changes in YouTube's ad policies lately coming down. So you're also going to have unemployment reports. I'll get everything. Anyway, if you're interested in getting one of these payroll files for your small business, I sell the core template for $50, and then I do enhancements to it thereafter. It's so much better than every other service out there. People absolutely love it, and it's one of the reasons I do videos. I haven't done any in a long time for payroll, and I really should do more because I think this product is the most beneficial product. The meaningfulness it has had to people that use it is greater than any other thing I've ever built, and I understand why, because getting control of your business and really understanding how to change one thing and have it refresh and filter through and have control of your numbers and everything, it's really important for your peace of mind. And also, you don't want to spend your time killing yourself over small details when they really should be easily automated and done for you. And you should just be able to refresh and change and see, just double check that YouTube Kingsley doesn't have a paycheck, and he doesn't. He's only getting $25 an hour. Anyway, Ken stock is out for now, but enjoy Missouri Payroll Excel 2017, and of course there will be more videos to come.